So imagine you have a group of items in Roblox. Perhaps you have loads of parts and perhaps they're inside a model or even inside of a folder, okay? And what you want to do is you want to do something to all of these parts. Perhaps you want to change the color of all of these parts at once without having to say workspace.part1.color, workspace.part2.color. You get the idea. So let's put all of these parts into a folder and let me show you how you can do a bulk update to all of these parts using GetChildren. So I'm firstly just going to anchor these parts so that they don't fall over when we run the game. But in a script, I'm going to show you how to use GetChildren. So GetChildren will allow you to get all of the children of an instance. Now, what is a child? Well, in Roblox terms, a child is any object or instance, is another word of saying object, which is inside of another instance. So, for example, this part is a child of the folder, and the folder is a child of the workspace. And you can see this by the arrow which is next to our folder, so we can expand and collapse it. And you can also see there's a slight level of indentation, which shows the parts being within the folder because we have this blank space near where my cursor is. So what we can do is we can get the children of any instance by calling the function getChildren. So firstly, we need to have the reference to our folder. Now in this case, the folder is known as the parent because it houses the parts. It has some other objects inside of it. So the folder is the parent, but all of these parts are the children. So to get these children, we're just going to say :getChildren like this. But now what? What can we do with those children? Well, we haven't stored this as a variable. We need to store it as a variable. So I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call it children. You can call it anything. The name doesn't matter. What matters though is that it's going to be storing a reference to all of these children. And it's going to be storing it in the format of a table. A table allows you to store more than one value. So in this case, we're going to have a table which looks like this, and it's going to have an index for every single object inside of our folder. So an index is just a value, okay? So for example, our table would look something like this. Now, we won't be able to see this table, but I'm just going to show you this is what it would look like. Okay, I don't know how many parts we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it would look something like this. We have 8 references to each part. Obviously named the same thing in this example, but just imagine that they are different. So that's what the table would look like. That is what our children variable would be, because we've got the children and we've just put them into a table. So we've got a collection of all of those parts. What we then want to do, and I'm just going to keep this here, but I'm just going to comment it out, okay, so the script ignores it, because this is just a visualization. What we can then do is we can loop through that table. We can loop through all of the children, and we can say, look, for every single child in this table, we want to do such and such, okay? If we want to change the color of all of those parts, we can do that. If we want to rename all those parts, we can do that. If we want to delete them all together, we can do it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to use a in pairs loop, and it looks something like this. So you'll say for index, comma, value, in children, do, okay? And you might notice, if you have been a scripter for a while, that I'm not saying in pairs. Okay, it used to be that you'd have to put the children like this, but you don't have to do that anymore. So we just say for index, value, in children, do. And then whatever you do to this value, because this value is, forget about the index value, we're not going to talk about that today. The index is just the number, right? So if it's the first in the table, the index is 1. If it's the second, it would be 2. If it's the 8th, index would be 8. But we don't need the index for today. What we are interested in is the value, and the value is just going to be each object in our table here that we're looping over. So it will start with the first one, and whatever we do to this value will be done to every object in our table. So we could say value.color, and we could set the color to red, for example. Okay, and if we run this code, it's going to set the color property of every single child that's in our table here. And if we click on run, you'll notice all of the parts went red. And you'll notice that it happened instantly, but with a for loop, it's actually doing it one by one in order. It just happens so quickly that we fail to notice. And if we were to add a task.wait of 1 second here, you would be able to see each individual part being looped over. It's not doing it in any particular order here either, it's just it's doing it based on the order of the table, which might not correspond to the order that our parts are laid out in, but you can see it did it one by one. So that is how we can loop over the table, and I'll do a more in-depth video on for loops. This video wasn't meant to be intended for that, but it's meant to show you that the GetChildren function returns a table, and then we use the for loop to loop through every object in that table. Okay, so again, you can do whatever you like here. You could print the name of the part, not that you'd really want to, okay, because they're all the same at the moment, but you know, we could say part 1, we could say part 3, and it would print those out one by one. Okay, and again, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the order that they're going to be printed out in, but you can see it's printing out each part as it loops over it. So that is GetChildren. Okay, and I'll probably make another video about a separate function called getDescendants. Okay, you can also say getDescendants, and the difference here is getChildren will only loop over the first set of children. If I had another child inside one of my parts, getDescendants would also loop through those as well. It would loop through absolutely everything in our folder. Okay, even if there was something inside our part, it would still be counted. But if we said getChildren, because we're only looking for the direct children of that folder, technically this second part that I just created is parented. It's a child of the part, not the folder, so it wouldn't get counted. But if you say getDescendants, it would contain it. Okay, it would class it as well, because it is still a descendant of the folder. It's still within the folder. It might not be directly parented to the folder, but it is still a descendant of it. Okay, because if you collapse the folder, the part disappears. So that was how to use GetChildren. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please leave a like, please subscribe, let me know any other videos you'd like me to cover, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.